Hey folks, Doug Blake with Body Design University. And yes, it is show and tell time. I'm asked quite often about a topic known as probiotics. So I figured I would show you a couple of things here and just help you to understand a little bit more about it. For the most part, unless you've been hiding under a rock, you know that probiotics are probiotic, meaning that they are microbes, basically bacteriums and other microbes that, when ingested either through food or through like a supplement, you increase the total concentration of these microbes in your body, particularly the large intestines or the colon, and they have some beneficial effect on what is known as the host organism, i.e., you as the host organism. So yeah, I figured I'd kind of show you a couple of things. For the most part, we consume probiotics in any number of different ways. One of those is obviously through the foods or the liquids that we drink, right? This is kombucha, just so you know. And why do we drink kombucha? Well, we drink it because, for the most part, the benefits that we derive from the bacterium that live in here. So I figured I would just show you. This is just one I get from Sprouts, for instance. And the key to any type of drink or food product is that for the most part, you want to consume the ones that do not have a whole lot of sugar or anything else associated with it. But these all contain what are known as probiotics. And a probiotic, of course, is just the term that describes those beneficial microbes. Remember, you're consuming all type of microbes, whether you know it or not, whether you like it or not. You got them all over your body. They're in your mouth. They're in your eyes. They're in your nose. They are everywhere. But the good ones, or at least we hope the majority of the good ones, ones that are in you are good, are located in your digestive system. Now, there are probably 1,000 plus species of microbes that live in you, not just on you, but in you, right? And again, the vast majority of those, probably 90% or more by weight of the probiotic microbes in you, are located in the large intestines, or what we call the colon. And of those, the ones that are in your large intestine or colon, the vast majority of those are located along what's known as the transverse colon and then the descending colon, particularly down near the end of the line, so to speak. So you're going to find the vast majority of bacteriums, microbes, or what we call the microbiome, are located in your large intestines towards the end. They are located, again, they're located all over. You have microbes in your small intestines. You've got them in your stomach. You got right all the way up your esophagus. It's just not as many. And the varieties are significantly less. So I figured I'd just kind of show you a little show and tell. Now, this, of course, is yogurt, right? Well known now for eons, right, as a staple food product. Nice thing about yogurt, of course, is that in general, the microbes that are in here, the probiotics that are in here, generally will eat the sugars. And that's one of the benefits of yogurt as a dairy product. If you have issues with the sugars, right, the lactose, you ever heard of lactose intolerance? Well, a lot of folks say they have lactose intolerance. So probably not lactose intolerance. It's probably an issue that you're having with the proteins in the milk product itself. But if you do, okay, that's an issue that you generally don't have to be as concerned about when you consume a yogurt. Why? Because the milk that this was made from, it contained lactose. It contains a lot of other things, but it gets inoculated with microbes. And those microbes, generally lactobacillus is going to be, or any number of species of the lactobacillus clan, are going to eat the sugars in here. Of course, they'll eat other things, but generally the sugars. And because the sugars get eaten, they grow. You eat this, goes into your tummy. A lot of them get killed, right? Although they are able to withstand acidic environments, there's still going to be some die-off. No matter how much of the stuff you eat, there's always going to be some die-off of the good microbes as they move through the gastric tract, particularly the stomach. Of course, now once they move into the small intestines, they'll make their way slowly but surely through your small intestines, and then they get into the large intestines, and they meet up with their buddies who are already in there, and they will repopulate your large intestines, which is why you got to eat this stuff on a regular basis, because just like what you do, i.e., poop it out every day, these guys are the things that are dying on a regular basis, and they're exiting your intestinal tract, and they need to be repopulated on a regular basis. Okay, so that's one of the benefits of putting like yogurt in your daily nutritional routine. So yogurt, and I brought this just so you can see the container. Eat that every day. This actually comes, and I just wanted to read this to you so you understand. The deal with yogurt is made from milk product. It will generally tell you that it contains, here you go, ingredients: cultured grade A non-fat milk, water, blah, blah, blah. And then it contains yogurt cultures. Okay. And so it contains a couple, they're only naming two. Lactobacillus bulgaricus is one of them, and I am not going to go through all of them. There are, like I said, well over 1,000 different species of microbes, microbial things that live in you, right? Your microbiome, from yeast to bacteria. There's a whole host of them. So, and this is just one. It's just one of the many lactobacilli that actually lives in you. And there's many different families of bacteriums. And the humans, for instance, have a fairly common, all humans, although there's many different varieties of microbes that live in humans throughout the world, there tend to be 4 or 5 major families of microbes that live in humans. And of course, every other animal have their own sort of special mix of microbes that live in their intestinal tract. So that's yogurt, right? Every day. Of course, there's kombucha. And the only reason I'm doing this, I wanted to kind of see what they contain as far as the microbes are concerned. This one's actually lower in sugar, but yeah, they've got this listed out. It contains, this by the way is it's a mushroom one, but it contains the microbes beneficial lactobacillus. And by the way, lactobacillus are what is known as lactic acid producing bacteriums. That's hence the name. Now, of course, so that's food, drink, right? And then there are those products that are just actual microbes themselves. This one is from a corner store type of thing, probiotic acidophilus. So it contains certain number of CFUs, or what they call colony forming or CFUs, colony forming units. And this one contains Lactobacillus acidophilus. It is the one that I remember when I was a kid that my mom used to tell me about. So acidophilus pills, acidophilus tablets, before I knew anything about this. Now what we know is that acidophilus is just one of many species in the Lactobacillus family of bacteriums. And this contains how many? It contains CFUs. Normally it tells you the CFUs on it. And 100 million. So 1 milligram, or looks like one capsule contains 100 million active CFUs. So these are the actual colony forming units. Don't be impressed by 100 million. Don't be impressed by 50 billion. They're bacteriums. They're really small. You need 50 billion, 100 billion. You need all of those, because half of them are going to die just in the stomach alone. So in order to colonize or recolonize and get that stuff into your intestinal tract, you need a lot of it. So when you see 10 billion CFUs or whatever the number is, don't be too impressed. You got to get a lot of it in you for enough of it to make its way to repopulate your intestines. This one is a very special, it's a special one in that it is what's known as a psychobiotic, which is a sort of a subclass of probiotics. And this is what's known as L. raminosus GG. It is another lactobacillus strain. And this one has its own, or at least from the research that's out there now, there are certain actual specific strains of probiotics, bacteriums that appear to have more or less activity, for instance, on the vagus nerve, which affects the brain. And so we have this connection between the brain and your gut, right? The gut has been often termed your second brain. Just keep in mind, I'm just giving you a very broad overview of the concept of probiotics. What's the takeaway? You got to get this stuff in on a regular basis, daily basis. All the foods you consume, depending on the level of processing, are going to contain to some level or another these different bacteriums. It's just that when you consume yogurt and you take kombucha, or obviously a supplement, you have increased the total concentration of these beneficial microbes. Okay. And so just keep that in mind. Not that you need to be consuming this as a 5 or 6 of these a day, but the reality is that your average client, they might not even be consuming any of this stuff. And then they will then rely on supplements. My suggestion is that you help your clients to understand it's better to at least start off this process by consuming decent amounts, or at least requisite amounts, of soluble fibers in their diet through unprocessed foods. Consume, a fair amount of products that are known to be probiotic in nature, that do contain these bacterium and other microbes that are beneficial to the human body. So with that said, remember, every Wednesday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we do a Quizlet live study session for 30 minutes. Also, if you are looking to become a certified personal trainer and you are not a BDU student, you need to be. Go ahead and click on the link below in the description box. And by the way, if this was helpful, just type the word understood or understand. I'll get it. I'll figure it out one way or the other. Either one of those in the comment box. Ask us questions. That's one of the reasons why I do a video like this, is because I'm asked questions by students. They want a little bit more explanation, or a different way, better way to understand it, especially if you're trying to talk to your clients about it. And so let us know how we can be of assistance. As always, have a great week, and we will see you next week.